this up.
First time I knew I was different, I was just a little girl. There was this boy I really liked. One day I finally got up the courage to tell him. He pushed me down in the mud. He called me ugly. I've been alone ever since, always waiting and hoping for that certain someone to come my way. I remember right after college, all my friends with their perfect boyfriends and their society weddings. Every time one of those bitches got hitched, I'd freak. Eventually they had to put me on meds just to calm me down. But then one day, in the asylum, I had a visitor. The gentleman's name was Calypso. He said if I won his game, I'd never have to be alone again. He said he knew where I could find my true love. How could I refuse an offer like that? After all, no one as pretty as me deserves to be alone. I was asleep for hours, dreaming about weddings. In fact, one very special wedding. I was one of the bridesmaids as usual.
Hey, Cobra.
My friend Kristen, she was the one getting married.
I want to show
Can
you
you
one
believe
specific
what she
story.
did? She actually had the nerve to
This is
throw the
not the one.
bouquet to me, that little bitch.
It's before this one.
Looking back, I'm not sure it was such
But
a good
ignore the
idea
message I
to
just
come
sent
off
on
my
Discord.
medication.
Mary, quite contrary. You're just an ugly fat cow.
I think that day, my heart just snapped in two, and I think my mind did the same. So I grabbed the closest thing I could find, and then I wasn't really sure what I did. If I wasn't going to have a man, then no one was.
You're going to be
I dragged
I
Kristen's
think you're going to
fat,
be
ugly
freaked out by
body into one of the dressing
one
rooms
character I'm
and
going to show
bolted the
you.
door. Standing there in Kristen's dress, I realized I was the most beautiful bride I had ever seen. When I win this contest, Calypso will find me a man who thinks so too. I'm sure there were quite a few sour faces in town when all the girls learned I'd won the contest. I demanded my prize from Calypso. I wanted to meet my true love. Calypso delivered. It was my darling, my sweetheart, and he's gorgeous. Calypso told me he had to make a few
you know who that is.
But what man doesn't need
The
a little
driver of
adjusting
roadkill.
here and there? As he held me in his big, strong arms, he leaned to whisper something in my ear. To this day, I still can't believe what he said.
I will never love you.
My God, I was so close. But this wasn't my true love at all. He wasn't anything like the man I thought he was. Certainly not good enough for a girl like me. My Prince Charming is out there. I know he is. And I'll find him. Even if I have to go through each and every man, one at a time.
I just have to make the characters crazy.
When the lights are low in this place, you get plenty of time for thinking. It beats the alternative, listening to the screams that come from every direction. Must have been years I was left alone in that darkness. But when you look like I do, it's probably for the best.
Yeah. He has no face
My
anymore.
life was over, but the man who did this to my face, he was still out there. But one day, I had a visit. Guy's name was Calypso. He ran this freak show contest he wanted me to be a part of. If I entered and won, he said I'd taste the payback I'd been dreaming about. I just wanted to find the son of a bitch who destroyed my life. How could I refuse? In the nut house, I was always drugged up. I never thought about what happened to me. But now that I was out, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I was a boxer. You never heard of me. I was strictly small time. One night, I went up against this hotshot fighter from out of state. I never even saw him coming. I got tore to pieces before the end of the first round. My jaw was shattered. My nose was broke. I was a mess. And some of the guys from the gym said they knew this surgeon who could fix me up, good as new. Maybe there were better doctors in town, but none that I could afford. Besides, I'd heard this guy was a big fan of the fights. Too bad old Doc made the mistake of betting on me that night.
$20,000. I lost that.
As I went under, all I could hear was the scraping sound of Doc's blade and this blaring opera music he played while he worked. When I woke up, my face felt like it had gone 15 rounds with a semi-truck. The doc did a good job. I'll give him that. From what I hear, I went a little crazy. They say I busted up the hospital trying to find the guy. In the process, I tore up 6 innocent people. But now that I'm out, there ain't no place for the doc to hide.
Yeah. Doc took out his eyes and his tongue.
So what do you know? I was the winner. Calypso's contest was over and I was the champ. And true to his word, the man delivered the goods. I got my prize. He even had a special bonus lined up for me. It fit perfect, like we was meant to be together. I had seen fear in a man's eyes before, but this was different. This was special. I think that doctor, he knew payback was going to be brutal. It's funny, after all these years, still got some snap in that left hook of mine. You know, that was the first time I ever knocked someone out with one punch.
I was a bad girl one time. And now I'm gonna pay for what I did forever and ever and ever. I should have done what I was told. I should have been more careful. I shouldn't have defied Mr. Creel. That's why he did this to me. I've been alone for so long. But then, one day, I had a visitor. His name was Calypso. He said he could make it all better. He said we were gonna play a game. It was the key. The only one that could open my mask. 7 years I've been locked away inside my doll face. If I won the contest, I'd get the key. But I've been so bad. Do I really deserve to be free?
Makes you wonder how a sweet girl like that got locked in the asylum.
And the whole time, I was having this really scary dream. I dreamed about my boss, Mr. Creel, working on those creepy masks he used to make. It was my first real job
that's
after
a familiar
college.
looking mask.
I didn't want to screw it up. I wanted Mr. Creel to like me. But then, this
Only
one day,
one person wears that clown mask.
I made a terrible mistake. I didn't mean to upset him. I didn't mean to be so clumsy. But I was just so stupid. I could feel the nails crushing the mask down on my face. And to make sure the mask stayed on tight, Mr. Creel made a weird-looking key. He said it would make sure the mask would never come off. Now that I think about it, maybe it wasn't all my fault.
I mean, it was just spilled coffee. He didn't have to knock a mask on her face.
I had won the contest, and now I was gonna be free. I went to see Calypso. I told him I wanted my prize. You know what? There's always a price to pay for something you really, really want. If I took the key, Mr. Creel was gonna die. Why couldn't he just have been nice to me? It's funny, now that I had the key, I didn't want it anymore. I like my new face now, much better than the old one. It doesn't cry and it doesn't look scared, and it'll always be pretty, even when I'm old and gray inside. There's a whole lot of people in the world just like Mr. Creel. Someone has to show them that they can't do bad stuff to people like me.
My parents put me in here. They think it was Kelly's death that sent me over the edge. They thought I'd gone nuts. But you know what the truth is? They're the ones who should have been put away. There are tons of kids just like me. It was a relief to finally meet someone who understood. His name was Calypso. He ran this contest. He said if I won, I could fulfill Kelly's dying wish. I could avenge her death. So I told him I'd play his stupid game. Kelly was my best friend in the world. I would have died for her. Who knows? Maybe if I'm lucky, I'll get the chance. Being unconscious is like being in a pitch-black room with no doors, no lights, and no way out. I could have stayed in that place forever. But then, the dreams began. Kelly and I were on the pier. School had just let out. We were using our tarot cards, trying to find out if this boy Kelly liked would ever notice her. It was a really bad reading. I guess if I ever needed proof that the cards actually worked, that was the day I got it. They were some jerk-off guys from school. They called us witches. One guy grabbed me, another went after Kelly. He said he'd always wanted to see if a witch could swim. I kept screaming at him, "She can't swim! Kelly can't swim!" I didn't know how to swim either. There was nothing I could do. They didn't stick around to help. As Kelly went under, I heard her shouting to me. "You get them," she said. "You make them pay for this." And then I didn't hear her anymore. I've waited 5 months for this chance. Kelly trusted me with her last request. I promise I'll deliver. That's what best friends are for. I'd won Calypso's stupid game. He said it was time to claim my prize. It was time for Kelly to get her revenge. I didn't know what Calypso was getting at first. But then I began to see. Revenge, this way. It's what Kelly would have wanted more than anything in the world. An eye for an eye, blood for blood. It was the code of the witch. It's weird. As I pushed that first pin down, I felt something give. It was like pushing into a person, and from far away, I could have sworn I heard someone screaming. It took 2 days for the cops to find the bodies.
And look who it is that she killed.
Let's just say it wasn't a very pretty sight. I've kept the voodoo dolls in case I ever run into my parents again. I know I won't see Kelly anytime soon.
The same boys that killed Kelly.
People may come and go, they live, and they die. But a true friend is forever.
Last year, everything was perfect. My dad drove this cab. He used to take me with him sometimes. I have a brother, but my dad won't let me talk about it. He says my brother became really, really bad when he started driving this ice cream truck. Me and my dad, we were like best friends. But one night, there was this passenger. He had this gun. Killed my dad and then ran. I just sat there while my dad died. But then, I had this idea. I was able to put together this controller. It made my dad alive again. I control him now. People think it's weird. They don't like it. They want to put me in a home and bury my dad. But I don't want him to leave me. I don't want to be alone. That's why I entered this contest. When I win this game, Calypso promises he'll make everything all better.
I wouldn't believe Calypso.
I had won the contest. I went to Calypso and asked for my prize. He promised that he'd make everything all better.
That's why it's called Twisted Metal, Cobra.
It was a trick. He destroyed my controller. It killed my dad. I begged my dad to come back. I even tried to put the controller back together. But Calypso wouldn't let me. He said things in time would be all better. He said he needed someone to train to take over his contest when he died. He said my brother would have been the perfect choice, but since I killed him, I was the next best thing. He said it was in my blood.
The next sweet tooth.
Won the contest. I went to Calypso and demanded my prize. I wanted to know who killed my wife, and I wanted revenge. It was him, that freak in the ice cream truck. He was always around the neighborhood. Why hadn't I been more careful? I should have said something was wrong. It was my fault. Maybe I was really the one to blame for my wife's death. But then, he spoke to me.
Your wife, she didn't die easy. You should know. She begged for you as I killed her.
The clown is dead, but so is my wife. I will never be free.
We already saw this in last episode. Screw you, love Calypso. He knew Black was going to kill him, so he left and left a bomb.
Months in the nut house. It was the longest I'd ever been confined. So a few people had been killed. It wasn't my fault.
Please, no, I got a family.
Shut up and bleed, you motherfucker. Well, maybe it was my fault, but I had my own problems to worry about. The old man's curse was beginning to piss me off. But then one day, he showed up. Calypso, he called himself. It was a stupid name. I wanted to kill him there and then, but he made me an offer. He said he ran some kind of crazy contest. if I won his game, he promised to show me how to bring an end to the curse. No more headaches. As much as I had those old urges of mine, I kept them to myself for the moment. I figured I'd play along with his little game. After all, I could always kill him later.
You remember him.
Wanting to save my soul, but as it turned out, the old man had something else in mind.
The evangelist preacher.
As I fried, he started screaming out like the freak he was. He asked God to curse me, to burn me forever in the flames of hell. It took me less than a minute 3 police officers and get my mask back on. I never used to believe in curses, but it's been 3 months since that night, and the pain.
And that's how his head got turned on fire.
Let me tell you something, boys and girls. I sure as hell believe in curses now.
Now here's an interesting ending.
So I went and saw Calypso. I asked him to make good on his promise, to bring an end to all the pain, to take away my curse. He offered me a vial. He said inside it held the blood of a man who'd cursed me on the night of my execution. He told me if I drank it, my curse would be over. But he also said if I ever returned to my killing ways, the antidote would wear off, and the curse would come back to haunt me. I had to decide. It took me all of 10 seconds. Let's face it, boys and girls. A man has to have his priorities. I killed Calypso about as well as I ever killed anyone.
Yep, off with his head.
Now that I'm free, I'm going to be the greatest of all time.
For this throat. Calypso's dead. Yep. The clown killer killed him. Well, that's it for Twisted Metal Black. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Later today, actually. Bye, everyone.